Wisconsin capital tonight with wet weather highlighting the day. How much of it will return for tomorrow's forecast coming up. And despite today's weather, the Badgers using their ground game to take down Maryland. Highlights from a wet and windy day at Camp Randall. And with 2 weeks until the start of Wisconsin's gun deer hunting season, learn how the Dane County Sheriff's Office is helping hunters prepare. That's all coming up right now at 10. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm McKenna Alexander. Let's go ahead and take a look at your certified most accurate forecast with meteorologist Julian Zurich. Julian, let's just keep it simple. It's really gross out there.
Yes, but there are some good silver linings about it, and one of them is that we're not seeing as strong of winds that we had over the last couple of hours. Taking a look at the gusts as of right now, we're just seeing around 22 miles per hour gusting winds here in Madison, and many of them have started to lose their intensity as we continue throughout the rest of the night. But just because they're losing their intensity doesn't mean we're not going to see breezy conditions. As we have that system continuing to push northeast, we're not looking at any more rain, but it's still a bit soggy outside for us as we get in throughout the rest of our Saturday nights. Taking a look at the next few hours, overnight temperatures are going to be stable into the lower 40s, but it is definitely still going to be rather breezy. So just factor in the wind chill for tonight. If you're going to be out, we're going to be seeing temperatures and feeling temperatures that will be into the upper 30s. But planning out tonight here in Dane County, we're going to start to see those temperatures into the lower 40s throughout many of us as we get into the rest of tonight. One other thing to talk about, folks, is that we are going to start to have to set our clocks back. Starting at 2 in the morning, we're going to be gaining an hour of sleep, but losing an hour of daylight. That means we are no longer going to be having a sunrise at after 5 o'clock starting tomorrow. We're going to be having a lot more darker nights ahead, McKenna.
It's going to be a sunset, Julian, instead of a sunrise, Julian, I guess.
I don't know how I feel about that, but, you know.
Hey, it's time for change. We can do it.
I'm an adaptable person, so I like that.
All right, thanks, Julian. Just a reminder, you can stay up to date on the weather with our First Warn Forecast weather app. It has hourly forecast, road conditions, and the latest radar right from the palm of your hand. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. Well, not the best of weather for a football game this morning as the Badgers look to notch back-to-back wins for the first time this season. A tough task ahead for this team, especially coming off their bye week. Sports anchor Jordan Reed joins us now with highlights. Jordan?
Yeah, McKenna, like you said, just another day of less than ideal football conditions. The rain, the wind, it would make this afternoon's game with a 6-2 Maryland team that much harder. And of course, when battling the elements, you got to establish the run. Well, that's exactly what Wisconsin does. Graham Mertz, he's going to hand it off to Braylon Allen. Well, no surprise here. He finds the end zone for the first score of the game. Well, Isaac Garendo gets in on the action. He answers a house call early second quarter. 89 yards down the sideline. Badgers take a 14-0 lead over the Terrapins. Wisconsin gets back to their brand of football. They dominate the ground. They dominate on defense. UW wins it 23-10.
They're playing hard. It's clear. It's easy to see, I think, how hard they're playing to come out and play strong early and not get affected by the weather and push through that and really thrive in those situations early in the game. Just really proud of the way they handle a lot of adversity today.
So now Jim Leonard is 3-1 as interim head coach, and there's still plenty more to cover from this afternoon's game. We're going to have that later in sports.
All right, thanks, Jordan. New at 10 tonight, police in Stevens Point are searching for a woman who they think may be in Illinois. This is Cassidy Bumowski. She hasn't been seen since before 3 on Friday afternoon. Police say she is not able to care for herself and that she had called her mother saying she and her boyfriend were going to Illinois. Now, Bumowski does not have a boyfriend, so police are concerned for her whereabouts. She is 5 feet 4 inches tall with brown hair and brown eyes. Anyone with information on her whereabouts is asked to call Stevens Point Police at 715-346-1501. If you've been sticking with News 3 Now tonight, you watched the twisted and disturbing story that happened right here in southern Wisconsin. Bart and Krista Halderson's disappearance and murders were the focus during tonight's episode of 48 Hours. Now, telling that story means hearing from family, detectives, and a familiar face here on News 3 Now. Adam Duxter spent 3 years working for us, and in July of 2021, he went to the Halderson family store days after Bart and Krista were reported missing. Duxter emphasized that even though he was the one making an appearance on tonight's episode, the work of everyone involved, including investigators, should be noted while watching it.
So this is not about me. This is about our team and what we did at Channel 3. It's about the team of investigators and what they did for the Dane County Sheriff's Office. And it's really about At the end of the day, it's about the Halderson family. I mean, there's still people grieving.
The 48 Hours episode, titled The Snapchat Clue, will now be on Paramount Plus and is also available online at channel3000.com. In politics, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers met with supporters here in Madison tonight as he continues on his campaign trail ahead of the midterm election. The stop was part of his bus tour called Doing the Right Thing. The push spans 10 days, during which the governor is touting his accomplishments while in office. And this evening, the governor got personal with supporters and sharing how the reversal of Roe v. Wade has impacted both his family and women throughout the state.
I have 7 granddaughters. Some of them, they're here tonight, second-class citizens, overnight, just like all the women in the room. We can't let this happen.
Meanwhile, Evers' opponent, Republican Tim Michels, appearing with Ron Johnson today to highlight his differences between him and his challenger. Michels spoke briefly about education reform in Wisconsin, saying that if he's elected, he will, quote, put parents in charge of their children's education and make universal school choice a reality.
They know that crime is up. They know the education test scores are down. They know your 401k value is down. They have nothing to run on and win on. The red wave is coming.
And don't forget, you can visit our election page on channel3000.com. There you'll find everything you need to know about Tuesday's midterm election. And then on election day itself, you can find the latest up-to-the-minute results for all the biggest races in your area. Just look for it at the top of channel3000.com. Now, with the balance of power up for grabs in Congress in Tuesday's midterm elections, candidates and former presidents are busy making final appeals to voters this weekend. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavides shares from another day on the campaign trail.
It's good to be back in Pennsylvania.
Former President Barack Obama slammed Republican Senate nominee Dr. Mehmet Oz in the battleground state of Pennsylvania.
If somebody's willing to peddle snake oil to make a buck, then he's probably willing to sell snake oil to get elected.
Campaigning in Pittsburgh with Democratic candidate John Fetterman, Mr. Obama warned about the future of abortion rights, Social Security, and democracy. Later, they appeared in Philadelphia with President Biden and Josh Shapiro, the nominee for governor.
One of the most important elections in our lifetime. It's going to shape, the outcome's going to shape our country for decades to come.
And Dr. Oz rallied in Latrobe, Pennsylvania with former President Donald Trump, who has signaled he's strongly considering a 2024 White House run.
If you want to stop the destruction of our country and save the American dream, then this Tuesday you must vote Republican in a giant red wave.
Democrats hold a narrow majority in the House and the Senate, but they're worried pressing issues like high inflation and concerns about crime could hurt their chances on Tuesday.
What they're doing to this country right now is a shame, and they won't admit it. They want to call all police officers thugs and bullies.
Georgia Republican Senate hopeful Herschel Walker is locked in a heated battle with incumbent Democrat Raphael Warnock.
Someone lowered the ladder just low enough for me to reach up and grab the ladder and pull myself up.
Nationwide, close to 40 million Americans have already cast their ballots in early voting, both by mail and in person. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Aaron Carter, a singer who found fame with pop songs like his remake of I Want Candy, has died at the age of 34. The one-time teen idol started his recording career at the tender age of 9. A spokesperson for the LA County Sheriff's Department responded to a call at his Lancaster home around 11 a.m. local time today. Carter was reportedly found dead in his bathtub. Authorities have provided no information about a possible cause of death. Aaron, who was the younger brother of Backstreet Boys' Nick Carter, first rose to fame in 1997. In addition to his career in music, Carter was also an actor, appearing in TV shows like Lizzie McGuire and Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Authorities have provided no information about that possible cause of death. Still ahead at 10, the days are getting shorter and darker, with experts concerned about the toll that could take on your health. We'll share some tips to make seasonal depression more manageable during those cold months ahead.
Black November starts now at Ashley. For a limited time, save 55% on Beauty Rest Select Hybrid mattresses and receive a comforter, 2 pillows, and a 4-piece sheet set for free. And get 60 months special financing with no money down. Happening now only at Ashley.
And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think just want you to know I am. I just want you to know I am.
It's time to bust out your favorite flannel and join us at Flannel Fest, an evening of music to benefit the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund, Saturday, November 5th at Funk's Pub in Fitchburg, featuring the Four on the Floor, The Mascot Theory, Beth Killy Band, Bascom Hill, and Natural Satellite. Tickets and info available at flannelfest.com. Flannel Fest, benefiting the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal, come have a taste of Wisconsin.
America's Dairyland.
As in real dairy.
It gives Culver's fresh frozen custard its famous rich and creamy flavor.
Like really rich.
So rich.
Rich and creamy.
And our cook-to-order Butterburgers?
They're topped with, you guessed it, Wisconsin cheese.
But it's the smiles we put on your face
With every meal made just for you.
That really makes our hearts melt.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Nice.
As governor, I'll always try to do the right thing. I've worked with both parties to find middle ground to improve and invest in our public schools, cut income taxes, and put our state on solid financial footing. But here's what I won't do. I won't cut public school funding. I won't be Donald Trump's puppet, and I'll never allow radical politicians to make decisions about abortion. That should be left to women and their doctors. I'm Tony Evers, and I'm asking for your vote.
Black November starts now at Ashley. For a limited time, take a bonus 20% off your purchase of $19.99 or more at checkout. Plus, get 60 months special financing, no minimum and no money down. Happening now only at Ashley.
Before you cast your vote on Tuesday, log on to channel3000.com for comprehensive information on voting, candidate reality checks, and what's on the ballot. Get the facts and information you need before you head to the polls. News 3 Now, your election headquarters. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
It's time to start making room in your freezer because Wisconsin's gun deer season officially begins in just 2 weeks. And ahead of opening weekend, the Dane County Sheriff's Office is helping prepare hunters so they can bag the best buck. With roughly 250,000 gun deer hunters in the state, it's no secret that deer hunting is a time-honored tradition in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin consistently ranks as one of the top deer hunting destinations in the country. And you don't have to believe us. You can believe the National Deer Association, who reports that out.
And for Wisconsin hunters, the best time of the year is just a few weeks away. On Saturday, the Dane County Sheriff's Office kicked off its annual series of sight and events, where hunters can prepare for the opening weekend of Wisconsin's gun deer season by having their firearm properly sighted and adjusted. Officials say by hosting the event, hunters are able to feel confident in their shooting while staying safe.
Our goal is to make sure that when people go out in the woods that they have a gun that's sighted in and ready so that when they take a shot at a deer, it's as accurate as they can possibly make it. It's basically for hunters' safety so we know that they're going to hit the target that they're trying to.
Wisconsin's gun deer season officially begins on November 19th. If you missed out on today's event, there's still plenty of opportunities to get your firearms sighted and adjusted ahead of opening weekend. You'll need to visit the Dane County Law Enforcement Training Center, which is located at 5184 State Highway 19, and no appointment is necessary. It'll be open tomorrow between 8:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m., and shooters will need to be off the range by 4. If you're busy this weekend, you can also visit during those same hours from November 11th to the 18th. Just a reminder, only firearms legal for hunting deer in Wisconsin will be permitted, with a cost of $10 for the first gun and $5 for each additional gun. Into some health news tonight. With the weather changing and less sunlight, you might be feeling a little down lately. And you're not alone, with experts saying you may be experiencing a common disorder called seasonal affective disorder, also appropriately known as SAD. The National Institute of Mental Health reports millions of Americans go through this every year, with those symptoms consisting of feeling sad or tired for short periods of time. And while it's not fully understood what exactly causes SAD, officials say the lack of sunlight and less time spent outdoors during the winter can play a part in these negative feelings. However, health officials do say that planning activities during those colder months, making sure to maintain a well-balanced diet, and reaching out to your healthcare provider can all help.
This is definitely the time that I would say reach out to your healthcare provider, have that conversation with them, get some ideas from them as well, and then from there you can take it and get a game plan in place together with your provider, because just because it may be something you've experienced in the past doesn't mean that's the way that we have to feel.
If you need immediate help with your mental health, you can call or text the number 988 to be connected with the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. The rate of deaths directly attributed to alcohol rose nearly 30% in the U.S. during the first year of the pandemic. That's according to recent CDC data. Now, this comes as previous reports also found the number of such deaths rose in 2020 and 2021. A new report published Friday focused on more than a dozen kinds of alcohol-induced deaths. Examples include alcohol-caused liver or pancreas failure, alcohol poisoning, withdrawal, and other alcohol-related diseases. The latest numbers found there were more than 52,000 such deaths last year, up from 39,000 in 2019. Let's take a break now and get a look at your certified most accurate forecast with meteorologist Julian Seawright.
Well, starting things off by looking at our surface map. We are monitoring the system that was so robust and brought in plenty of rainfall throughout much of the upper Midwest, specifically for us here in southern Wisconsin, where some areas had seen 3 to 4 inches of rainfall over the last 48 hours, which we'll get to in just a moment. As that system continues to push northeast behind it, we're looking at chilly and breezy conditions continuing to move in from the south, which is going to be sticking around for us until we get into the mid part of Sunday. But behind it, what we're also going to be watching for is another system, which is bringing in some rain and even snow to our friends in the Great Plains. It's going to continue to move its way into the upper Midwest, but it's just going to be bringing a bit of chillier conditions for us by the time we get into the mid part of next week. But this is what we're looking at as of right now. Any precipitation is pretty much ended for us here in southern Wisconsin, so we're not looking at any more in terms of wet conditions outside of just the soggy rain that's left behind. Just looking at how much rainfall we saw for us here in southern Wisconsin, around Madison, areas had ranged from 2 to 3 and even 4 inches of rainfall. And closer, just south of I-39, around Janesville, we saw around 4 inches of rain as well. But many of us here, specifically coming in from the west and over towards the eastern side, this would be from Grant County all the way to areas into Milwaukee, had seen the range of 1 to 2 and yes, 3 and 4 inches of rain, which is an abundance over the last 48 hours for us. But taking a look at tonight in itself, we're looking at temperatures to fall into the lower 40s for us here in Madison and many of us in southern Wisconsin. And planning out tomorrow, as you're heading out the door, it's going to be a chilly one, but we are seeing temperatures just rise into the mid-50s. Sunshine is going to be mixing in with some clouds, but then we're going to start to see some clearing skies as we get into the rest of our Sunday afternoon. This is what we're going to see for us as we head out the door. Breezy conditions, temperatures in the 40s. Cloud cover will stick around, so just note, it's still going to be rather windy until we get into the lunchtime hour. We're going to start to see those winds shifting coming in from the west, still staying rather cool for us. However, we are going to look at those temperatures to really stay stable into the 50s throughout the course of our Sunday afternoon, and then the cloud cover will start to dissipate as we get into our Sunday evening. Transitioning into Monday, blast of cold air is going to be coming in from that next system, so temperatures are going to be into the upper and middle 30s for us as we're heading out to our Monday. So be prepared to have your heavy coats and even a hat on as you're heading out the door going into our Monday. Wrapping things up for us, here's our 3 things we will need to know. We are looking for breezy conditions to end the weekend, and then the cool is going to return starting off for next work week. However, we are going to be monitoring another system to be bringing in not just showers, but snow showers going into the back end of the next work week. So here's what we're looking at for our 10-day forecast. We are going to start to see temperatures really stay above seasonable for the next couple of days, even though Monday is going to be close to seasonable. Seasonable around this time of year is 50 degrees. We're going to be around 49 for Monday. And then throughout the rest of the week, we're going to stay above that average. Not going to be bad for election day, but Thursday into Friday morning is where we're going to be monitoring potentials of rain and even some snow showers as we wake up for our Friday morning, McKenna.
So earlier, I don't know why exactly he's still here, but for whatever reason, meteorologist Chris Reese is here. He popped in to just say hello, and every single time you've said snow showers tonight.
He has been just brighter than a Christmas tree. It's hilarious.
We always try not to distract each other, like kind of on set, but something about seeing a little like right behind you just makes
I know.
You can hear him laughing.
Yeah.
Just makes everything better.
Oh my gosh. Every time I would speak about snow and I would just see him in the corner of my eye, I'm like, stay on, you're on TV, you're on TV, you're on TV, we can talk about this later. I know. I gotta love it though. We're changing seasons.
literally 5 feet from us, joining. Excited about the snow, even though we aren't. So, hey. Well, if the weather wasn't, oh, never mind. We're not talking about that story anymore. Still ahead in sports, we have a closer look at the Badgers' win this afternoon. Jordan will bring us highlights coming up after the break.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Did you know Tim Michaels pledged to rig future elections?
Republicans will never lose another election in Wisconsin after I'm elected governor.
He'll try to overthrow the will of the people. Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as governor?
The Internet of Things is evolving, creating the Internet of You. And Spectrum, America's leading internet and mobile provider, is bringing you seamless connectivity across all your devices. Introducing Spectrum One, Spectrum Internet with speeds of 300 megabits, advanced Wi-Fi, and Spectrum Mobile Unlimited, all for just $49.99 a month. Call 833-673-4999. Spectrum Internet delivers speeds up to a gig with over 99.9% network reliability. Advanced Wi-Fi provides enhanced security and privacy that automatically blocks threats to protect all of your devices. And Spectrum Mobile gives you unlimited talk, text, and data with nationwide 5G and the most reliable service coast to coast. Switch now. Call 833-673-4999. At Spectrum, it's not just about connecting things, it's about connecting you. Get it all with Spectrum One, Spectrum Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and one line of Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for $49.99 a month. Call 833-673-4999 or visit a Spectrum store today.
It was Halloween. My daughter stopped at 3 homes, her girlfriend's house, her teacher's house, and the man that murdered her. He molested her and he put her in a garbage bag. He was going to be released in 2018. Josh Call, he was not there for me at all. You want some help to find out what's going on, and he doesn't help. He don't care about the victims. I know Eric Toney does. Eric Toney helped keep that man that murdered my daughter from being released. Eric Toney's always been there for me, and that's the kind of attorney general we need.
The upcoming holidays are hectic enough without having to worry about appliances breaking down. Family-owned Brothers Maine is having a Veterans Day sale featuring kitchen and laundry deals on GE appliances. The lowest prices guaranteed. Feel like family. Brothers Maine.
Oh, great. My wireless bill just went up.
Should have gone with US Cellular. They aren't raising prices on any of their plans.
Seriously?
Yeah, my price won't increase.
Well, that is refreshing. I feel like everywhere you turn these days, prices are going up.
Supply chain got us too. Don't get me started on the overhead costs.
At US Cellular, every plan for everyone is price protected.
You know, I respect a female entrepreneur.
US Cellular, where every plan is price protected.
In a recent clinical study,
patients using Salonpas patch reported reductions in pain severity,
using less or a lot less oral pain medicines,
and improved quality of life. That's why we recommend Salonpas. It's good medicine.
Did you know Tim Michaels wants to criminalize abortion, even for pregnant rape victims?
But you wouldn't support exceptions for rape or incest?
That's correct.
Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as your governor?
Well, it's easy to say that bye week did wonders for the Badgers. In being able to rest up, heal, relax, they returned to Big Ten play refocused. They got in disgusting conditions and dominate a 6-2 team, making it their first back-to-back wins of the season. And it starts on offense. Braylon Allen is the first Badger to find the end zone this afternoon. Now, shortly after his trip, Isaac Guerrero, it takes it 89 yards to the house. It's a career-high day for the young back, 114 yards on 12 carries. But we got to talk about Wisconsin's defense today. They held the Terrapins to under 200 total yards. They didn't find the end zone until the final minute of the game. Nick Herbig has himself a day, 4 tackles, 3 for loss with 2 sacks. Back from the bye, Wisconsin wins 23-10, improving to 5-4 on the season with a 500 conference record. The Badgers starting to look like their old selves again, and as Zach Hanley tells us, the wet weather favored their ground attack.
Wet, windy, but a Wisconsin win, thanks to good defense and a two-headed rushing attack that ran for 233 yards and 2 scores in a game they knew they'd be called upon.
Just looking at the weather, we were just preparing for it, so
we knew it was going to be a run-the-ball type of day. So, you know, appreciate the O-line for sure, you know, blocking their butts off today, all day.
Fun to watch the aggression those guys played with up front. The backs just pounding it in there. Not always going to be pretty, right? You know you're going to run into some heavy boxes, but just everyone just grinding it out.
We knew it was going to be a kind of by any means necessary type of game. And, you know, those guys dominated up front. They got the job done, and we were able to try to make some plays in the passing game when we could. Obviously, it was a little bit of an ugly game.
They're maulers today, man. I mean, they love weather like that. They had fun today. I mean, run game-wise, we were so physical. We kind of were dominating the line of scrimmage, so there was no real reason to be like, oh, like we got to drop back and air this thing out. You know what I mean? When if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
The weather conditions were perfect for an offensive lineman, not really for a quarterback. Didn't seem to bother Graham Mertz, though, as he described it. It's always sunny and 75. At Camp Randall Stadium, Zach Hanley, News 3 Sports.
Whitewater on the road this weekend facing UW Stout. They get the close conference win 16-7, their regular season finale, set for next Saturday at home against Stevens Point. Championship Saturday for high school boys soccer. In Division I, Verona battling Marquette for the title. The Wildcats trailing by a goal when Brian Vasquez quickly turns that around early second half with a little spin move that ties the game up. Verona, they're hungry for more. Connor Gage says, "It's my turn now," taking the free kick, sneaking it into the near post to put Verona on top. And that score will hold. Wildcats win their first state title, 2-1, the final score. And in Division II, it's a rematch of last year's championship game between Oregon and Whitefish Bay. The Blue Dukes strike first 30 minutes in. Matthew Comiskey from outside the box lofts it in for the 1-0 lead. Now that score holds all the way until 5 minutes left in regulation. And then you have this. Anthony Eller cuts through the rain with this beauty to knot it up. This one's going to overtime. Well, there's no goals in that, so it goes to PKs, where the Panthers win the PK shootout 8-7, and they defend their title. And up in Green Bay, it's Championship Saturday for girls volleyball. In Division II, it's a battle between 1 and 2. Sauk Prairie facing Xavier. Eagles find success early, especially in that front left corner. Josie Brond breaks the block. That's a point for SP. Moments later, it's Annie Brond with the kill from the same spot, extends Sauk Prairie's lead, but Xavier, they don't stay quiet for long. Matea Kiefer goes downhill real quick on that ball, and the rally is on. The Hawks go on to win the D2 title in 4 sets. And in Division IV, Monticello hoping to carry its semifinal fire in a championship Saturday, going up against the defending champs, McDonald Central Catholic. Here in the 4th set, Max with a 2-1 advantage. Well, Ellie Gustafson is doing it all. She's got big blocks up front, helps the ponies keep it close. She follows it up with a back row laser. But McDonald Central Catholic gets on a roll later in this set. They go on to clinch their 2nd straight title. And the Bucks return home for one game with OKC, hoping to keep the perfect start alive at Pfizer. Well, Giannis sits this one out. No problem for this squad. Brooke Lopez leads the way tonight with 25 points. Grayson Allen adds 19 off the bench. And the Bucks make it 9 straight dubs to open the season, 108-94, the final.
All right, thanks, Jordan. Stay with us. Final check of your First One forecast is coming up when we return.
Breaking news in Dallas, Texas, where at least 5 police officers were killed when they were ambushed.
This was the deadliest day for U.S. law enforcement since 9/11.
Just days after this horrific crime, Mandela Barnes appeared on Vladimir Putin's propaganda news outlet and rationalized violence against American police officers.
Police officers are over-exercising their badges. This probably was a retaliatory attack.
Do you want Mandela Barnes representing you in the Senate?
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Wisconsin is a home of workers. We know what needs to get done, and we do it. Yet, we've been hit hard, some harder than others. Our contact may be limited, but we still can lift each other up. The Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy providers are working together to help keep your heat and power on. You may not ask for it, but we want you to know we're here.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. If you have or are eligible for Medicaid, please listen closely. You may be eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan from WellCare with a zero or low plan premium. Call now. We can answer your questions and help you enroll over the phone. WellCare provides access to essential benefits that go beyond original Medicare, such as dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage with free home delivery, free over-the-counter healthcare items, free groceries with a healthy food card, free gym membership, and home-delivered meals. Plus, extra benefits like more access to care with free transportation and WellCare's telehealth services, including online doctor visits. WellCare is contracted with Medicare to provide plans that may be perfect for you. Call 1-844-682-9370. Now, that's 1-844-682-9370. WellCare, Medicare done well.
There will always be bumps in the road, but we got guts, America. We got freedom. We got power. We got future. So let's drive on and make the future we want to see together. Because your new Ford vehicle is just the start of a journey. So stop by your Ford dealer today and claim one of the thousands of new Ford trucks and SUVs on their way. We've been building this country for 119 years, but we're just getting started.
For Clinton Anderson, our community is his top priority. He's delivered for middle-class families on the Beloit City Council, and he'll keep fighting to lower costs for us in the Assembly. Jeff Klett's priorities are all wrong. He supports dismantling our public schools, wants to slash community services to give tax breaks to his billionaire backers, and he'll vote with extreme Republicans to enforce Wisconsin's abortion ban, which could send doctors to prison. We can't afford Jeff Klett.
A new place to help kids and parents keep calm. Monday at 10.
Before we go, don't forget to set your clocks back an hour tonight. We're falling back out of daylight saving time, which means theoretically you get an extra hour of sleep. It's just a matter if you use that hour for sleep. And also, here are the winning jackpot numbers for tonight's $1.6 billion Powerball drawing. They're 69, 53, 45, 56, 28, and Powerball 20. We'll let you know tomorrow on News 3 Now if a jackpot winning ticket was sold. Spoiler, it was not any of us. No. So we will be back here tomorrow. We will.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yes. But the good news is, in terms of weather, we are going to be looking at some temperatures that will be on to the milder side by the time we get into the mid part of next week.
All right. Thanks for joining us. News this morning starts at 6:30.